The ocean's endless power is most clearly displayed through its massive waves. It can wash away homes and turn highly anticipated trips into terrifying nightmares. Brace yourself to confront the fiercest monsters of the sea. No more waiting, let's dive right in. On June 17, 2017, a huge landslide at Greenland's Umiamaku-Nunant sent millions of cubic meters of sediment into a 3,300-foot deep fjord, creating a 295-foot high wave. Just 7 minutes later, nearby Nugatsiak village was hit by multiple powerful waves racing at over 155 miles per hour. The video recorded the scene of unusual large waves crashing onto the shores of Piura and Tumbes, Peru. The footage shows powerful waves damaging and sinking several fishing boats offshore, pushing them close to the shore. It seemed like a peaceful journey through icy waters. But nature always has its own way of reminding us of its power. The sudden flood in Santa Fe, New Mexico on July 23, 2018 caused the usually dry Arroyo Camiso drainage channel to overflow with waves reaching more than 4.5 meters high. The ghost wave on the Deagle River, Papua, will appear when the distance from Earth to the Moon is at its shortest.
The deckhand's running in! Oh my god! Yo! Oh shit! Kind of broke out, eh?
The one behind it, didn't it?
Let's go! Oh shit! I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared then. That's so good. Oh, let's go.
She must have learned a hard lesson about understanding the power of the ocean.
On March 23, 2019, the Viking Sky cruise ship, carrying 1,374 passengers and crew, suffered a power outage, leaving it stranded at sea in the middle of the storm off the coast of Norway. Several passengers were injured as the ship rocked violently, sending furniture flying and shattering glass as waves struck.
They actually all got swept away. Did you get that on video?
Ada.
Ada udah ibu ane.
The uneven battle ended with an absolute victory for nature. California's coastline is taking a beating from a fierce storm, with waves towering over 10 meters high. From the Bay Area to Ventura, hundreds of people have been forced to leave their homes as seawater floods deep inland. A strange wave surged along the riverbank, though there were no tsunamis or large ships nearby. It turned out the wave came from a tide rushing in and raising the water level. With a tidal coefficient of 110 and a tide reaching 13.15 meters, plus an additional 21 centimeter rise, this was the highest tide in recent years in St. Malo.
Got this big wave coming.
It's all good. That was just a massive tidal wave under the Golden Gate Bridge at Fort Point, San Francisco.
The combination of geological activity, wind, and water currents at a particular frequency created this bizarre wave. Due to Typhoon Regasa, all ferry services between Donggang, Yanpu, and Xiaoliuqiu were suspended on September 23rd to 24th to ensure safety from strong winds and rough seas. A rare incident on Costa da Caparica Beach turned this man's seaside stroll into an unexpected swim. While walking along Black Sand Beach, Steve and his friend had to climb onto a small rock to avoid a sudden big wave. But it seemed like the wave was still chasing him. Luckily, his friend pulled him out just in time from the strong current.
Alright, we're going back.
Foamnado.
The foam from fierce waves and winds has covered the Gold Coast beaches.
And they've just rescued it. It's been lost in there. Playing in this is to be super aware because this is formed from all of that fresh water.
And boats hitting boats.
Yeah. Holy.
Santa Cruz Harbor remained in disarray after powerful waves from the storm. Many boat owners spent the entire Christmas Eve struggling to save whatever they could. The management announced that all other docks remained shut, and all maritime activities were temporarily suspended. CCTV caught the moment when a house and car were carried away in surging waves after Hurricane Fiona made landfall in Port aux Basques, Newfoundland. Step aboard the FV Alaskan Dream and dive into a rough and ready journey with some of the toughest fishers out there. Top surfer Lucas Chumbo was unexpectedly swept away by a massive wave while performing a spectacular jump at Nazaré, Portugal on November 20th. Luckily, with his experience and expert skills, Cosenza managed to steer the jet ski out of danger and bring them both to safety. The World Surf League, WSL, called it one of the most insane rescues ever. The ship's battle with the raging waves made many passengers feel like they were caught in a high-stakes thrill ride. Huge waves crashed onto the shores of Klungkung Regency in Bali, Indonesia, Indonesia's famous surfing island. Fortunately, all surfers and tourists were safe. Tourists visiting the Breitha Glacier in Vatnajökull National Park, Iceland, were caught off guard by an astonishing situation, as they were lost in the majestic beauty of the scenery. The massive 9.0 Richter earthquake, followed by a tsunami in Japan 12 years ago, is an unforgettable event in human history. It serves as a wake-up call for all of us to learn how to respect Mother Nature. As soon as the homeowner left, a mysterious wave swept through the house. Luckily, no one was hurt. Large waves slammed into the pools of the Valero and Galeon apartment complexes at Acacos Beach, Acapulco, Guerrero, Mexico. The event highlights the importance of monitoring weather warnings and implementing safety measures, such as reinforcing seawalls and ensuring safe evacuation routes for residents and tourists during bad weather. This group's expedition to Phuket Island, Thailand, became an adventure they would never forget. We truly must admire the experience and mastery of these captains, who guided the ship through the storm's fierce waves.
Oh my god! Woo!
The car over there, our car.
Okay, it's okay.
Look at the car, it's been smashed
Yes,
against the
it's
side.
okay, it's okay,
He's
it's
gonna
okay,
go.
it's okay.
He's
It's
gonna go.
relax.
Big Beach, Maui, is renowned for its powerful, towering waves, making it a haven for water sports lovers. But that very grandeur also comes with its own set of risks. A regular day at Laguna Beach turned upside down when a towering 50-foot wave crashed into a house. The windows and balcony will need some reinforcements after this unexpected encounter. La Jolla Restaurant captivates not only with its exquisite cuisine, but also with its charming connection to nature. Every detail, from materials to design, is carefully selected to ensure maximum safety for customers. So you can sit back and enjoy your dinner like a sailor at sea, without worrying about the waves. In February 2021, a Navy patrol ship was undergoing a grueling training exercise in the Southern Ocean. The ship faced towering waves, rough seas, and winds of force 12, equivalent to a fierce storm. Sailing in such harsh weather was full of dangers, but fortunately, the ship and its crew safely returned to the mother vessel. Latitudes from 50 to 70 degrees south are called as the Furious 50s and Shrieking 60s, due to the relentless winds and massive waves sweeping through the region. Storm Gloria sent powerful waves crashing over coastal structures on the island of Majorca. The ocean always hides unpredictable dangers, and maybe he would have been in serious trouble if he hadn't listened to his friend and son's warning.
Come up, come up, come up, come up. Hang on. Stay there, Wayne, don't forget about it. Forget about it.
Always be careful facing nature's power. Even a small mistake can lead to serious consequences.
Come on, Wayne. Go, let it go.
The mighty Cheongtang River, renowned for some of the world's most massive tidal waves, will leave you in awe of its magnificent power.
Look at this, mate. Look at that wave.
Wow, see that? Oh my God.
Powerful storm-driven waves kept crashing onto the shore, sending towering water columns dozens of feet high in Donostia. Powerful offshore storm winds generated waves up to 20 feet high, which the southwest winds drove into the California coast. This forced many beaches to close.
Sono faccia pollution e ma siamo se facciamo briccare perché sono
The relaxing getaway of tourists at a resort in Acapulco, Guerrero, Mexico, took an unexpected twist.
Mira qué ola.
Esta es buena, esta sí que es grande. Hostia, esta la llevado todo. La de atrás, esta que viene aquí, ponte para acá, coño. Esto es un pedazo de mar, Ya para ahí, chaval.
Vamos a ir bañados para casa.
A massive wave suddenly crashed into the port entrance of Cudillero in the Principality of Asturias, northwest Spain, creating a heart-pounding natural spectacle. The nor'easter storm caused severe impacts along the Massachusetts coastline. In the town of Scituate, giant waves slammed into the seawall and flooded homes, leaving many residents with major damage. This little village on the Tirhenian coast has experienced a tough time coping with the aftermath of the recent violent storm. The 140-foot vessel from the Irv fleet was navigating waters 100 miles northeast of Shetland. It sailed through 22-meter waves effortlessly, as if the ocean itself couldn't even challenge it. Perched on the Loophead Peninsula, Kilkee Cliffs have long been famous for their rugged beauty and monster waves, forming a striking scene along Ireland's west coast. Captain Clifford Walton shared a heart-stopping moment when his boat nearly sank in rough seas. The large boat struggled against raging waves, with water splashing onto the dock and flooding inside. Some people on the boat stayed inside, trying to control the rising water. Fortunately, thanks to the captain's skills and vast experience, the boat overcame the challenge and docked safely. Caused by a 9.3 Richter earthquake, a series of tsunamis were activated over the Indian Ocean, damaging Indonesia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, and areas nearby. The Valentine's Day storm hit Mousehole at 5 p.m. on February 14, 2014. The turbulent winds caused significant damage to areas near the Penzance Newland coastline. A house was submerged as giant waves repeatedly crashed against the shore. In response to the danger posed by high waves and drifting debris, local authorities closed off most beaches to ensure residents and tourists' safety. At the same time, an emergency warning was issued to locals, advising them to stay away from the beach, coastal viewpoints, cliffs, and seawalls to minimize the risk of accidents and potential damage. Waves in San Sebastian Bay, Spain, can reach nearly 100 feet high in water. The power of the sea is a force we must never underestimate.
A waterspout looking like a drill bit from the sky spun straight down into the blue Mediterranean Sea. It raced past less than a mile from a tourist boat, turning a calm, open view into a full-on storm stage.
Mamá, engancha al francés. Sí, lo ha destrozado, ¿eh? Y al otro. O sea, nos hemos salvado de milagro.
Escúchame.
Mira, mira, los salvadores de los otros.
Hostia.
Hazle zoom, Lucía. Hazle zoom que viene.
On the early morning of January 15th, the underground volcano Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'api suddenly erupted, attracting a lot of attention worldwide. It triggered a submarine earthquake, causing a tsunami. Footage captured in the scene showed us the fact that not only enormous waves could cause serious problems. The massive waves are a testament to the ocean's uncontrollable power. Each recorded moment brings us closer to the true magnificence of nature. Thank you for joining me on this discovery journey. See you in the next videos